Welcome back to my channel. We are still working on perspective drawing, and we are going to be making use of vanishing point method, as we have used visual array method, in which, as I said, we have two forms of visual array method, and we have used the two methods to solve problems. Okay, so we are still going to make use of the same question that we used then, but in this case we are going to use vanishing point method, which also has two forms. I'm going to read the question. That is the question that we used when we made use of visual array method. So I'm going to read the question, then we go on and analyze the question to produce the perspective view of this particular object. The question says, draw a perspective view of a square plane of size 50 millimeters resting on the ground plane with one of its corners touching picture plane and a side right to the corner inclined at 60 degrees to it. The station point is 70 millimeters in front of picture plane, 65 millimeters above ground plane, and lies in a central plane which is 35 millimeters towards right of the corner touching the picture plane. I'll read the question again. Draw a perspective view of a square plane of size 50 millimeters resting on the ground plane with one of its corners touching picture plane and a side right to the corner inclined at 60 degrees to it. The station point is 70 millimeters in front of picture plane, 65 millimeters above ground plane, and lies in a central plane which is 35 millimeters towards right of the corner touching the picture plane. That is the question as we have here. So we are going to make use of the first form of the vanishing point method. Let us start. The first thing that we are going to do is to draw a horizontal line which will represent the picture plane. Horizontal line which will represent the picture plane. So this is the horizontal line, and then we are going to label it. So we are going to label this horizontal line as PP. So that is the picture plane. So we have PP here. So this line represents the picture plane. Then we are going to construct the square. So as we are told that one corner of the square touches the picture plane, and that right side, that the corner that touches the picture plane, is at angle 60 degree to the picture plane. So we are going to draw a line in this direction at 60. Okay, so since we are constructing a square, so we are going to move to this side, okay, with 30-degree side of the set square, and we draw a line in this direction. So let us take the measurement. So we are going to take 50 millimeters up. So 50 millimeters up here. So I'm taking it from here. So this is 50 millimeters, and then so from this point we also take 50 millimeters. So from this point here I'll take 50 millimeters. So this is 50 millimeters. So then the next thing that we are going to do is that with 60-degree side of the set square, I'm going to draw a line here, and then so with the 30-degree side I will draw a line. So I'll draw a line from here to touch this line. So here we have the square in place. So let us label the point on the square. So this point is point A on the square, and this point is point B on the square, and this point is point C on the square, and this point is point D on the square. So we have the square label A, B, C, D. All right, so the next thing that we are going to do, let us locate the station point. As the question says that the station point lies at a distance of 35 millimeters to the right side of the corner that touches the picture plane, and it is at 70 millimeters in front of the picture plane. So what we have to do is that from this corner that touches the picture plane, we are going to project a vertical line. So we project a vertical line down here like this. Okay, so we take a measurement of 70 millimeters. So from here, so we take 70 millimeters down. So this is 70 millimeters here. Okay, so then we are going to draw horizontal line from this point to this side. Okay, then on this line from this point we take a measurement of 35 millimeters for us to locate the station point. So this is 35 millimeters. So this point here is the station point. So we write S here. So this is the station point. So having done that, the next thing that we are going to do is that we are going to be drawing lines from this point, touching this point, this point, and this point. That is the next thing that we are going to do. So let us draw the line. So from this point SA, that is the station point, we draw horizontal line. Sorry, we draw a line. So joining point S and point C together, and also from this point S here, so we also draw a line. So that is the station point. So we draw a line from the station point, touching this corner on the square, and then also, so from this point S, that is station point, we draw a line so to this point B, and then from the station point again, so we draw a line from here, so touching this corner A on the square. So we have this. Okay, so now, so then the next thing that we are going to do is that this point where these lines that we produce from the station point touches the picture plane, so we are going to label them. So we are going to label this point as point A1, and this point here is point B1. Okay, then this point is point D1, so this is D1, and this point is point C1. Okay, so why did I do that? Because this line connects S and C together, so that's why we have point C1 here. So we have this one, it connects S and D together. Here we have D1 here. This line connects point S, that is station point, and B together, so we call it B1, and this line connects the station point and this point A together, so we have this point to be point A1. So let's take note of that. All right, so don't forget that we are making use of vanishing point method. All right, so the next thing that we are going to do is for us to position the ground plane. So ground plane is located a distance away from the picture plane, and that distance it does not have measurement, so any convenient distance, but make sure you have enough space up here because we are still going to draw a particular line here, which I'm going to mention as we continue. So I will come down like this. Okay, then I'm going to draw horizontal line here. So I will draw horizontal line here. So this horizontal line represents the ground plane. So ground plane, we are going to write G. So we are going to okay, this is what ground plane, but we call it ground line. So we call it ground line. So we write GL here like this. Okay, so we have this now. Then let me extend this horizontal line. So let me extend this horizontal line to this side. Okay, so having done that, so the next thing that we are going to do is for us to locate or to draw the horizon line, where we are going to locate a particular vanishing point. I will still do that. I still have to locate a vanishing point here, but I will do that. So let's just position this line first. Okay, as we are told in the question that another vanishing point or station point is located at the distance of 65 millimeters away from the ground line. Okay, so what we are to do now is to take a measurement of 65 millimeters up the ground line. So 65 millimeters up the ground line. So here we have 65 millimeters. This is 65 millimeters. So we are going to draw horizontal line. So from here, so draw horizontal line from here. So this particular line, we call it horizon line. So this is horizon line. So we are going to write HL here. So horizon line. Okay, while this particular line is known as central plane, so we call it central plane. All right, so having done that, so the next thing that we are going to do is that we are going to draw a line. Okay, we are going to draw a line at this point that will be parallel to this side BC. We are going to draw a line from this point, and that line will be parallel to this side BC. Okay, that is the next thing that we are going to do. So let's quickly do that. So I need my ruler. So I need my ruler to do that. So I'm looking for my ruler. Okay. Okay. So let me make use of this set square. Okay. So then with this set square being set, so along this line, so with this set square being set alongside BC of the square, so like this. Okay, and being supported with another set square or ruler. So if it's ruler that you have, make use of it. So we shift this set square. So we shift this set square. So let me go back. So we now shift this S square, okay? So we shift this S square, so we shift it, bring it to this point S here, so and bring it to this point S here. So having gotten to point S, we are going to draw a line from here. So we draw a line from here, okay? So what I need to do now is that I'm going to extend this picture plane line. So I'm going to extend it. So we extend it to touch the line. So this point is point V, okay? So we are going to call it V1. That is vanishing point 1. So we have the one here on the picture plane. So I can extend it a little bit more to this side. So we have this. Now, having done that, so I also need to extend this line. I also need to extend this line to this side here. So having done that, the next thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to draw a vertical line from this point V1. I will draw a vertical line to touch the horizon line. So we draw a vertical line down here, so touching the horizon line at this point, and this is what we are going to call this. We are going to call it V1 prime. So we call it V1 prime. So having done that, the next thing that we are going to do is that we are going to extend this line AD. We extend this line AD to touch this picture plane at this point, and this point I'm going to call it point P. So we call it point P. So now, so from point P, we are going to draw a vertical line from point P. So we draw a vertical line from point P to touch the ground line. We touch the ground line, so touches it here. So this point, we are going to call it point P prime. So we call it P prime, okay? So now, so the next thing that we are going to do is that we are going to join this point P prime. We are going to join it with this point V1 prime. So we join it with V1 prime. So it goes like this. So join it with V1 prime. So it goes like this. Now, having done that, the next thing that we are going to do is that we are going to locate point B prime. We are going to locate it on this ground line. And to do that, what we have to do is that we are going to draw a vertical line from this point B. We draw a vertical line from point B to touch the ground line. So this is it. So draw a vertical line. So this particular point is point B prime. So we call it B prime. Okay. So this is B prime as we have it here. Now, having done that, the next thing that we are going to do is that we are going to join B prime. So B prime, we join it together with V1 prime like this. We join together with V1 prime, okay? So having done this now, so this particular point here is also point B, capital letter B, of the perspective view of this square. Okay, let's take note of that. So what we are to do now is that, so we are going to draw a vertical line from this point A1, okay? We have done that of B1, okay? Then we are going to draw from that of D1 and C1 to locate the point on these lines, okay? So what we are to do now is that, so from point A1 here, so we draw a vertical line from A1 down here to touch this line P prime V1 prime, and this particular point where this vertical line touches this line is point A, so capital letter A of the perspective view of the square. Now, so we now go again. So for C, so this is C1 here. We are going to draw a vertical line from C1. We draw a vertical line from C1 to touch this line. So to touch this line here, so we draw a vertical line from here. So touching this line at this point. So this is point C of the perspective view of the object. So next is D. So we come to D1 here and we draw a vertical line from here, okay? So draw a vertical line here to touch this line. So this point here, we have this point to be point D of the perspective view of the square. Now, having done this, the next thing that we are going to do is that we are going to join this point together. So if I'm joining A, B together, so we join A, B together. So we draw this line AB, so this is line AB, and then so we join BC together. So this is BC as we have here like this, and then we also have CD. So we join CD together with a straight line, and then we join AD together like this. So here we have what? We have AD. So this shape that we have here is the perspective view of this object with the use of vanishing point method. And this is vanishing point method from 1. So I will call it from 1. So let's meet on the next video, which should be on that of the vanishing point method 2. Thank you. Keep on practicing. And if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, please subscribe and like my videos here. And I will encourage you also to support my work here, to appreciate the work that I'm doing on this YouTube channel. Please join my YouTube membership. Thank you and God bless you.